What if Michael Jackson never became the king of pop? What if Thriller never happened? What if he never moonwalked across the stage and instead remained just another member of the Jacksons? Would his talent have still broken through? Or would he have faded into history as just one part of a family group? Let's explore the alternate reality where Michael Jackson never left the Jacksons and see how it changes everything we know about music history.
That's one small step for man.
The year is 1979. Michael is 21 years old. In our reality, this was the year he took the biggest risk of his life, going solo with Off the Wall, an album that redefined pop music. But in this alternate timeline, that moment never happens. Instead, he stays with the Jacksons, continuing to perform and record under the group dynamic. Without full creative control, Michael's artistic growth is restricted. He had already voiced frustration with the lack of musical progression within the family group. He wanted something new, something fresh, but within the Jacksons, his influence is limited. In this reality, there's no Quincy Jones collaboration. No, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough breakthrough. Instead, the Jacksons continue to release R&B and funk-influenced albums, achieving success but never becoming a cultural phenomenon. 1982, Michael is 24. In our world, Thriller became the best-selling album of all time, but in this timeline, Michael is still tied to the Jacksons. The biggest consequence? Thriller never exists. Without Quincy Jones, the innovative sound that defined the album is missing. No Billie Jean, which means no legendary Motown 25 Moonwalk. No Beat It, which means no rock crossover that changed pop music forever. Music television might still remain largely rock-dominated, and hip-hop might rise faster without Michael's influence on pop culture. Madonna, Prince, and even emerging rap artists might take the cultural spotlight in his absence. By the mid-'80s, Michael's frustrations with his family are boiling over. His brothers want to keep the Jacksons together, but Michael, now in his late 20s, is restless. He sees what Prince is doing with Purple Rain, and what Madonna is doing with Like a Virgin, and he knows he's being held back. At this point, Michael has two choices: stay or leave. If he leaves, it's in a messy, public fallout, permanently damaging his relationship with his family. If he stays, he risks being overshadowed by the changing music landscape. The 1990s were a defining period for Michael. In our world, he released Dangerous, revolutionized music videos again, and delivered one of the greatest Super Bowl halftime performances in history. But in this alternate timeline, does he ever evolve past the Jackson sound? Without full creative freedom, his music might remain stuck in the past. The new jack swing sound of Dangerous might never materialize. Instead of defining the 90s, Michael could be seen as a nostalgic act rather than an innovator. Would the 1993 Super Bowl halftime show have ever featured the Jacksons instead of solo MJ? Maybe, but would it have been as legendary? Probably not. Would the allegations still happen? The answer is likely yes. Michael's deep friendships with Young Boys, Neverland Ranch, and his eccentric lifestyle were not a result of his solo career. They were part of who he was. Would being in the Jacksons have changed the way the media scrutinized him? Possibly. A more structured family environment might have shielded him longer, or it could have led to even more backlash. His later years could play out in two ways. Either he fades into obscurity, still performing Jackson's hits for nostalgia, or he finally breaks free at an older age, but without the same impact. And as for his tragic passing in 2009, would staying in a group have prevented his medication dependency? Or would his frustrations have only driven him to seek escape sooner? The answer? No, he wouldn't be the king of pop. He would still be legendary. But his influence on the music industry, his ability to revolutionize pop culture, and his standing as a solo icon would all be diminished. He would be more like a modern day equivalent of the Temptations or Earth, Wind, and Fire, respected but not the most famous entertainer of all time. So, what do you think? Did Michael Jackson make the right decision in going solo? Or would he have been better off staying in the Jacksons? Let's discuss in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dive alternate history scenarios on Reelz. Until next time, keep questioning. What if?